Hello everyone, my name is Kaushaki Sondhi and I'm working as a training and placement trainer head TNP in IIMT College of Pharmacy, Greater Noida. Today I'll be sharing my views on importance of soft skill at workplace and a power of communication. When we say power of communication, we are not talking only about a verbal communication or a written communication, but we are also talking about non-verbal communication and gesture that are called paralinguistic languages. So today we will talking about all these kind of languages, which also include space language and time language, skimming and scanning, way of reading, and many more. With this also, we will be clubbing some important points of soft skill at workplace. Workplace is an area where you work, you present your ethics, being professional, your professional work area where you express your work skills and your work authentications and your responsibilities toward the placement. So without any delay, let us move ahead to the next slide, and that will be talking about what are skills. Yes. So skills are the ability to do well at workplace. These abilities could be in hard skills or a soft skill. Soft skill are the people skills and the hard skills are a technical skills. Hard skills are not limited only to the degrees, but they are also included nowadays with the mock courses. They are massive online courses which we are doing. And sometimes we relate them to the PDP personality development courses also. The soft skill are the people skills. In Hindi, we call them Vyavaharik Gyan. Soft skills are much required part to be a great personality, to present yourself in a huge, massive society, and they help you to grow not only professionally but also as a person in a professional and personal life both. So the abilities include hard skill and the soft skill when it comes to the workplace skills, and they all are related to enhance your performance on a daily basis, not only limited to one time increment in your performance. That will be into a parts, and it will take some time, random time, to make you on a high performer level. So for that, to increase your ability on a daily basis, you need some SWOT analysis of in a way of observation, awareness, training, research, and also clubbing yourself with the weaknesses and threats you are facing along your work zone. So that will help you to analyze that what is good for you, what is not good for you, what you need to work upon, what you need not to work upon, what you want to create as an opportunity, what you don't want to create as an opportunity, and the threat area you want to explore. And you need to understand that these are your threats and you need to work upon them. So these all kind of things club together to make you a personalized and a high version person of your own. Going ahead, the second slide, as you can see on our screen, is talking about the types of skill. Type of skills are of two types, as we have talked in the last slide also, that talk about the hard skill and the soft skill. And the hard skill are the technical skills. They are the degrees which we are getting in the colleges. And the soft skills are the people and the interpersonal skills. They can be communication, listening skill, reading skill, speaking skill, presentation, interaction, how you communicate, how to deliver your speech, and many more things clubbed together count as a soft skill. So all these together form a skill, and these skills are very much required at a workplace. So workplace skills are your talents, your traits, your qualifications that club together in a form of hard skill, characteristics, quality, and also the talents and the aptitude and the appreciation you need in a work zone. So they all club together to form a workplace skill. Going ahead, as you can see, now what is soft skill? Many people get confused, like this is same as hard skill, and maybe what is soft skill, as we have talked. So hard skills are the skills which are given to you in a form of degree, in a form of your diplomas, your certification courses, and all that things are your hard skill, your document proof that made you accessible to certain kind of work area. But beyond that, you need to have a soft skill, which also include the leadership quality, the teamwork, how you communicate, how you present yourself, how you are dignified as a person, and how good could you handle any situation, how great are you with the critical thinking, how content framing you are for a particular situation, and how you could handle anything which is coming to confront it with a great gesture. All these kind of things are the soft skills which you can learn over the period of time by a practical examples, by a raw example, the case studies, and also through regular practical market analysis and SWOT analysis. So the soft skills are the व्यवहारिक ज्ञान which you get as an attributes and personality traits like विशेषता और व्यक्तित्व जब मिल जाते हैं together, they form a great soft skill at workplace or any other place you are working, which you need to you need to present not only to the audience but also to the three levels of management for the employee interaction. That can be top level, that could be a middle level, or that could be a low level. Top level means your directors, your CEOs, your principals. The middle level is the peer members who are working with you, the employees who are investing with you in the same criteria of work zone. And the low level are the staff, the helpers, the peons who are working beyond your limits, and they are accessible also to the top level. So you need to understand how to communicate to all three levels, which gesture to be placed at which level, and how to be avoiding the situations which are confronting you, which are making you into any situation where you are getting trapped. So how to avoid all these kind of things which you are encountering, and being at a safer point and at a safer place at a workplace, so your attributes and personality traits work together. Going ahead, as you can see in the next slide, that now if you're talking about how many type of communication are there, what are the process of communication, and what are the techniques of stress management, how to handle the mental health at workplace, we are going to talk about all these questions in the coming slides. So before starting communication process, we should know what is communication. Always when you're talking about communication, it is a two-way process where two people are exchanging the thoughts, ideas, and opinions together. And this interaction could be between the two or more people. It is not required only two people should be there. There can be a group of people or an individual who is working to exchange the thoughts, opinion, and ideas. And the information which has been exchanged, it should be very much understandable, it should be on a easy frame of work so the other person could understand. If it is not on a same table of understanding, then the things could be disruptive, and then there come the differences, and that are called barriers and noises, and we are going to learn about more about them in a coming slide. As you can see, this is a communication process. As we have seen in the last slide, that communication is always between two or more people. Here, one person is sender, the other person is receiver. The sender is sending a message to the receiver. The channel could be anything. It could be through a phone, it could be verbal, it could be written, it could be through an email exchange, it could be through any area or organization in a letter format, it could be a business into a business formal letter, it could be anything. But the channel and the medium we are not talking here, we are talking about the message exchange through any medium. The transmission which take between the sender and the receiver, the sender is sending a message to the receiver in a decoding message format, and the receiver is receiving the message in a decoded message format. What are these two things we are going to learn in a coming slide. Before that, we need to understand the noises. As you can see in a slide, the noise plays between the medium channel where the sender is is sending message to the receiver. So what are these noise? These noise are the barriers. When you are talking to someone, when you are delivering your information, your message, your opinion, your thought to someone, there could be noise, there could be differences, and these differences could be due to the cultural barriers, due to the language barriers, due to the psychological, or due to the mental or physical barriers. What are these barriers? In the coming slide, let us see. See, these barriers could be physical noise, psychological noise, physiological noise, or the semantic noise. Also, maybe cultural or language barriers. So, physical noise means when you are not in a format or in a phase of understanding something. Maybe you are feeling hungry, maybe you are not mentally healthy, you are having a headache, or you are having a stomach pain. All these kind of barriers are physical barriers, or that could be also a reason of your physical limitation. So these kind of noise would not make you accessible to the information being exchanged because you are not in a mental frame of understanding things. Then come the external noises also. That could be the noise of a fan. When sometimes the fan making a noise and you're not able to hear the communication, that could be a disruption too. Then come the psychological barrier or noises. That means when I'm talking to you, maybe you are not in the mental structure to understand my things. You are having depression or stress, or you have some tension in your mind, or something other is going in your mind, and you are not understanding what I am telling you right now. Then come the semantic noises. Semantic noises means where the same kind of words are being exchanged to share the information, but the meaning are different. They are called homophones also. Homophone differences means telling you something, but you are taking my opinion, my thought in other way, because the same word means something else to you. These kind of problems are being seen in G20, where we avoid these kind of words which are semantic, so that the information could not get disruptive. Other than that, the noises and the barriers could also be your the cultural barrier, the language barrier. Sometimes we are not in a format of understanding the culture and the area of concern of other person, because he is from different background or different understanding of culture, and we are not able to understand his cultural speech. The other thing could be a language barrier, where the other person knows other language and you don't know that language. Then the information exchange could be disruptive, where you're not able to understand the language being shared, the information being shared in the language. So we have seen in the last slide also that the stages of encoding and decoding. So what is encoding and what is decoding? Encoding means when the person is sending a message to other person, as you can see in this slide, where a person is sending a message to other person, and he is sending this message as per the understanding of his views, as per the understanding of his views and his upbringing, his external expressions, his exposure towards the society, his knowledge, his information, his gain over the period of time, and he is sending that compact message in his understanding to the other person. So the other person, the understanding depends upon his upbringing, his understanding, his perspective, his way of taking things, his way of decoding things, his way of interrupting things. So that could be disruptive. That disruption could be, as we have talked about, that could be physical, that could be psychological. Other than that, the decoding and decoding of message can also create some barriers between the sender and receiver. Going ahead, now the thing come that what type of communication we have talked about. So for that, we will take a quick quiz here that will help us to understand what types of communication do we have. As we have already understood the communication, we have already understood the process of communication. Now we understand the types of communication. So this figure and this chart could help you to understand. And in the first slide, on the first image, you can see that a woman is talking to the public. This is called a public speech. This is a speech delivery, and this is a very formal way of exchanging information. In the other image, you could see that a lady is talking on phone. That is a telephonic verbal communication. It could be if face to face also, that also be a verbal communication. In the third image, you could see a person is delivering a message through a PPT or through a chart. This is a way of formal communication where a person is making a verbal interaction between the people around on the table. Then come the handshake image, that is a paralinguistic, that is your kinesthetic and body language, where a person is not sharing a verbal speech, but he is exchanging the pitch, the area of contact, the body language and the kinesthetic way of exchanging a space language, where a person is sharing his gestures with the other person. And the last image, you can see a lady is gossiping around with other women. This kind of communication is called grapevine communication, where other person is not in the framework of the organization, but out of the framework and the boundaries of the working zone professionalism terms, he is exchanging the information with the other person. This kind of communication is called grapevine communication, where most of the information is shared through a not on table time of exchanging data. So, is communication process complete? As we have learned, the sender is sending a message, the receiver is receiving a message. So is communication process complete after recording and recording? So you need to think about that. And going ahead, no communication is complete without any feedback or the advice or suggestions from the receiver, whether he have understood the message completely or he have not understood the message completely. But no message and no information is totally complete without the exchange of message and without the receiver sending a feedback to the sender. So that could be a great understanding of what is communication process and when it is called complete. Now coming to the things which are not mainly in course of any PDP, or in mostly it is ignored, but it is mostly taught when it comes to the MBA classes also, or to the soft skill classes also, the grapevine thing. So grapevine is a communication that occurs in an organization without adhering to the prescribed framework, which means that grapevine is a kind of gossip talks which mostly we call politics and white collar politics, which is carried in most of the organizations, where the whole structure is the formal structure is getting subjected and getting aroused or getting manipulated or getting changed or affected by the grapevine structure, which is working outside the boundary of the work zone. It could be a single strand, it could be a gossip, it could be probability, it could be cluster. Means you don't know the resource person, you know the resource person directly, you are confused about the resource person, or you have little data about the resource person, that who is throwing that grapevine structure or who is the gossip person here. So it could be any of the four kind. Going ahead now, coming to the second part of our session today, that is what is stress and at workplace and what defining the stress. When we talk about stress have two things to to locate with, that is a pressure and resources. When you talk about stress means when pressure is more and the resources are less. It means when we have great pressure from the work area and the resources are less. Example, if I give you a deadline to complete your work on a net, but due to the net issues or due to the internet issues, you are not able to have an internet facility and you are limited access with the internet facility and you are not able to complete your work on a particular deadline time. So you are limited with the resources, and that's why the pressure is there and you are not able to complete your task accordingly, and hence your pressure get more increase. Now, stress could be of two type. It could be a eustress, it could be a de-stress. When we say eustress means a positive stress where you are getting positive with the stress which has been put on you. it could be like an interview. For an example, you are going for an interview and you know that if you get enrolled and you get the job, that seat, you will be more positive and you will be happy because the pay scale is very good. Then the stress you are facing one day before going that interview would be a huge stress because you are happy to have that job if you crack that job. So that is called huge stress. Pre-stress mean when you are not prepared and you are asked to do something, or maybe you are given a negative terminology against your will and you get demotivated. But in that way, if we see, you need to understand that the de-stress means you are not demotivating yourself, but you are trying to have that negative aspect of other person, maybe in wordings or maybe in their gesture, to have that in as a booster for your work area performance, and that could be a de-stress. So it is an anxiety and worry to perform better as compared to your earlier records or as compared to some competition you have around. So that could be a short and long, that could be unpleasant, and that can decrease your performance because your main focus is on performance, performing better. Your main focus is not on your progressive reporting, or the you are being more result oriented here. You are not process oriented. In you stress, you are process oriented. That's why you are more happy to perform. You know what you are doing, and you have trust in yourself that you will do much better in a coming time. Now here I will be talking about the case studies. There are two types of case studies would be taking place. Company XYZ Limited, Mr. Ram as a director and Mr. Sham employee as HR. So the two situation would be talking about, and we will knowing that what kind of stress they are and how to deal with these kind of stressor. We will be learning in our coming slides. So situation A is Mr. Ram want his employee to do extra work without any increment in the salary. Note my words, without any increment. Mr. Sham agree on same due to less opportunities and much competition in the market. Will this situation be a reason for stressor in Mr. Sham? What type of stress it is? So here Mr. Ram, who is a director, have given a workload and a deadline to Mr. Sham to perform, and Mr. Sham knows that this is not going to done because without any increment, why I'm doing extra loaded work, but still he is performing because he know that in the coming time and now right now in the market there are no demand of my job, so this job is much required part of me, so I need to complete this task anyhow, if I want or not, that is not a concern. So he is taking that load. So do you think this is a stress? This is a stressor on him? Yes. The answer is yes, this is a stress. Then this is not a positive stress because he is not getting motivated. He is just doing his task because he is supposed to do, otherwise he will lose his job. So this kind of stress cannot motivate him to do better. So he will be just performing a task without any booster, and this kind of stress is called de-stress. So yes, he the type of stress here is a de-stress. So coming to the situation B, where Mr. Ram wants his employee to do extra work with increment. Note my word here, with increment based on performance. Mr. Sham agreed to on the same and started his working hard. Will this situation be a reason for stressor in Mr. Sham? What type of stress it is? So in this, we are seeing that Mr. Sham is asking Mr. Ram is asking Mr. Sham to perform his work, and he is also offering him some monetary benefits for the same. So Mr. Sham is getting happy. He know that if he is performing the task, he is getting a booster dose and he's getting a bonus for the same. So yes, I need to perform better because in the coming future, they will add to my performance, and if I'm doing better, I'm getting a reward for the same. So he will be motivated because he have something to gain out of it. And anyhow, if we don't have anything to gain out of anything, we are not performing good. So that could be a de-stress. So here the stressor, yes, it is a stress, but this is a positive stress because he is performing better. He is happy to do something good because he is earning something good. So this is a stress here. So in both situations, we have seen they have same employees, same kind of motivation is there. They both are performing work, but the stress are different. Now coming to the workplace management stress. how will you manage the stress if you have stress at a work zone? So for that, we will be having a technique, that is the 4A technique of stress management. The 4 A's stand for avoid, alter, adapt, and accept. When we say avoid means if you have a situation, so called example, hypothetically, we are thinking if you have a situation where you are having a deadline and you are not able to complete your task, so you could avoid, if you are getting, complain, or you are getting stress from your manager, so you can avoid it and you can place your theorem that these are the reason, and you can avoid the fighting area or the clashes area where you both clash, because that will be harmful for you. Or maybe in XYZ factor, if we see if some person is throwing mental stress, or he is being a stressor to you, he is randomly talking about you wrong, he's giving you wrong negative aspect of thinking, he's throwing random things about you in a workplace, you need to avoid that kind of situation. But if you are not able to avoid the situation which is being actively avoiding over the period of time, unnecessary source of stress you are taking, so you are avoiding that, but right now you are not able to avoid for a longer period because this is getting on your nerves, then you can alter the situation. The person who is stressing you, giving you stress, you can avoid your sitting arrangement, you can have less interaction with them, you can just be yourself, you stay with not that group which is giving you stress, you be with other group, just avoid and the situation. If you are not able to avoid, you can alter the situation. Alter means any sources of stress that you can't avoid, then you can alter them. If you are not able to even alter the situation, then you can adapt the situation. Adapt the situation means you should digest the situation, that this is going to happen, I need to work upon this kind of work environment, this is not going to change, and that's okay with me, I need to digest. Sometimes you are working and the child is making noise, so you say no, no, 3 4 times, but still, because he is a child, you are not getting on your nerves, because you know that he is not understanding your perspective. So what you do, you adapt that it's okay, we have a home with the child, so it's going to happen. So these kind of situations will come, adapt it. Then the last come, if you are not able to avoid, you are not able to alter, you are not able to adapt, then what you can do, you can accept the situation. Accept means that you can't change everything. When you talk, for an example, if I say that are these kind of situation will matter to you in a coming 5 years, these kind of question you can throw, and you can ask that is this person going to be a very important person in your life in a coming 5 years? If no, then why you are worrying now? Temporary phases of your mishappenings could not define your permanent situation. So you need to learn how to adapt, or how to alter, how to avoid the situation and be a less stressed person. So these are the 4 A's of stress management that are very helpful when it comes to a work zone, workplace area, and being more professional and being more capable enough to make the situation easy and accessible, and more professionalism in your work zone. So today we have learned about communication, which is not only limited to the verbal communication, to the written communication, but also to the paralinguistic and kinesthetic. Paralinguistic, when we say paralinguistic languages and paralanguages, so these kind of languages help you to throw your words, throw your speech, your articulation, pronunciation in a very easy format. The distance, the speaking rate, the pitch, the distance between two words when you are talking in public, that should not be very much into very much fast. The speed rate should be right, the speaking rate should be right, the pitch should be right, the volume should be right, the modification should be right, the volume and the quality of your voice should be right. So all these paralanguage factors help you to create a great public speech and make you more professionalism in your working area. Along with that, I suggest more of my students that they should have at least 5 words in their vocal banks on a daily basis. That will help them to grow their vocal vocabulary, to throw words in a speech delivery. Because when you are delivering something in a public speaking, in a domain where audience are present, in a auditorium where people are there, a lot of people are there, then you need to be fill up your mind with lot of words, and you can adjust and modify them according to the situation. But if you are lacking the words, then it will be very tough for you to deliver, because you are not able to express your feelings, because you are lacking the words. So the vocab bank should be filled up all the time. That will help you to be less stressed, and you should know that what is coming, what you need to deliver after what you have said already. So the second step should always be, the B plan should be there with the vocal bank completed on a very great format. So today we are happy to share this session on the stress management and on the communication. In a future will be sharing more such personality development and stress management session with you. And on behalf of IIMT group of colleges, I Kaushaki Sondhi, the head training and placement pharmacy department. Thank you all for joining, and that's all. Thank you.